All right. Back in 2019, there was a guy working night security at a warehouse just outside the city. I'm not going to say the workplace, I'm not going to mention names, but you can look it up. People call it the story of the Warehouse Ghost. Big place, concrete floors, metal shelving stacked high enough to swallow the light. A building that never really sleeps. It just hums. Nothing special about it. No rumors at first. No history anyone talked about. Just long nights and bad coffee. Then, the cameras started catching something strange. Him. Standing still. Not frozen, not asleep. Just standing there, facing the camera. Staring straight into the lens. Every night. Same time, same spot. And that corner, it wasn't part of his route. No reason for him to be there. At first, management thought he was slacking off, zoning out, maybe messing around, until they checked the timestamps. He wasn't standing there for a few minutes. He wasn't standing there for half an hour. He wasn't moving for hours. No pacing, no shifting his weight, no checking his phone, just upright. Then someone noticed something else. On one of the recordings, just for a frame or two, something moves at the edge of the image. Hard to tell what it is. Long, thin, like fingers, or maybe branches. Leaves brushing against the lens from outside. That's what they told themselves. Because when the footage was enhanced, the shape wasn't connected to anything. No arm, no body, just movement. And then it was gone. When they finally asked him about it, he didn't argue, didn't joke. He just went quiet. The room felt smaller. Then he said, real low, I wasn't watching the camera. He kept his eyes down. Then he said, something was watching me. He didn't describe it, didn't give it a shape, just said that every night when the warehouse settled, he could feel it behind him. Not touching, just close enough to make the air feel weird. And whatever it was, it didn't like being seen. That was his last shift. The next morning, they found his badge in the parking lot, right in the middle of an empty space. No blood, no struggle. His car was still there, locked. The cameras were still recording. Same spot, same time. Him standing there. Until, slowly, he turns his head. Not toward the door, not toward a sound, but up. Like he finally realized it hadn't been standing behind him at all. They never found him. But every now and then, those cameras still catch movement in that corner. Something thin, something long. Could be leaves, could be shadows, or something messed up, waiting for someone else to stop and look.
Let me ask you something. For our next story about workplace ghosts, have you ever worked late, alone, and felt someone touch you when no one should have been there? Tell me in the comments. I want to know, because those places, they remember. This story is based on real accounts. Different restaurants, different years. I'll title this one, The Cold Touch. Back in 2016, there was a late-night waiter named Elena Ruiz. Early 20s, closing shifts at a family-owned restaurant off the highway. Nothing fancy, comfort food. Long hours, she was saving for school. That night, it was just her and the manager. Dinner rush, cleanup after. Around 1:30 a.m., the manager clocked out. Elena stayed behind to finish side work, wiping tables, stacking chairs, taking trash out back. Routine. The freezer was in the back hallway. Industrial walk-in. Heavy door, no window. Elena went in to grab frozen bread for the morning shift. She stepped inside, reached for the shelf, the door shut behind her. She laughed at first, tried the handle, locked. The latch had been sticking for months. She knocked, then banged. No answer. The restaurant was empty. Her phone was in her apron. No signal. Just cold, and the constant hum of the fans. She wrapped her arms around herself, told herself to stay calm. That's when she felt it. A hand, cold, resting on her arm. She turned fast. No one was there. Then she heard breathing. Not hers. Slow. Shallow. Coming from the far end of the freezer. She tried to convince herself it was the fans, or air moving through the vents. Then a voice spoke. A woman's voice. Quiet. Strained. Saying her name. Elena. The freezer light flickered, and she saw her, standing near the shelves. A woman in a server's uniform, older style, different logo. Her skin was pale, bluish around the lips. Frost clung to her hair. She wasn't moving closer. She was shaking. The woman spoke again. I didn't mean to stay so late. Elena screamed. She slammed her fists against the door until her hands went numb. The woman took one slow step forward. That's when Elena noticed something messed up. Her shoes were frozen to the floor. Ice had formed around her ankles. The woman looked down, then back up. They said they'd come back. The lights went out. Total darkness. Elena slid down the door, crying, praying, screaming until her voice gave out. Time stopped making sense. Then the lights came back on. The freezer was empty. At 2:14 a.m., a delivery driver heard banging. Police were called. They broke the latch. Elena was rushed to the hospital for hypothermia. When officers asked what happened, she told them everything. They didn't laugh. One of them asked her a question. Did she tell you her name? Elena nodded. She said it was Marisol. Marisol Vega, a waitress who worked there in the late 90s, locked inside the freezer after closing. They didn't find her until morning. After that night, Elena quit. So did 2 other employees. Cold spots near the freezer, footprints in frost, a hand brushing their sleeve when no one was there.
How are you guys liking the drawing so far? We're about halfway there. Big thanks to Aileen Green for sending in her photo to get zombified. Seriously, appreciate the trust. And yeah, if you're watching and thinking about it, don't be shy. Send me your photo. I'll turn you into a zombie and feature you in an episode. I don't charge, at least not yet. Maybe when this thing blows up and I get a few thousand followers. Until then, take advantage of me while you can. Alright, let's get back into it, because this next ghost story is pretty messed up. Back in 2021, there was an Uber driver named Mark Ellison, mid-30s, night shifts only. Less traffic, less small talk. Around 2:40 a.m., Mark accepted a pickup request. Location, a motel just off the interstate. Low rating area, cheap rooms. One of those places with flickering neon and curtains that never fully close. When he pulled in, the parking lot was almost empty. A few cars, most of them dead still. The motel looked run down. paint peeling, ice machine broken, office lights on, but no one inside. Mark checked the app. Pickup confirmed. Then the back door opened. A woman got in. She didn't say hello, didn't slam the door, just slid in and sat behind him. Mark glanced at the rearview mirror. She was pale, very still, wearing a long coat, wide collar, muted colors. Something about it felt off. Not vintage, not stylish. Out of place. Her hair was curled tight, set stiff, like something you'd see in old photographs. Mark asked her name. No response. He asked if she was okay. Nothing. She stared straight ahead. Didn't move. Didn't blink. Mark felt uneasy, but the app showed the destination, only 10 minutes away, so he drove. The whole ride, the temperature in the car felt messed up, like the heater wasn't working right. Mark turned it up. It didn't help. At a red light, he checked the mirror again. Her hands were folded in her lap. Bare. No phone, no purse. And her clothes? They looked like they were from another time. 70s maybe. Long skirt, heavy fabric, colors you don't see anymore. They pulled up to the drop-off point, an old residential street, dark. Mark stopped the car and turned around. "We're here," he said. The woman opened the door. Before stepping out, she leaned forward, close enough that Mark felt her breath. Cold. She said calm and clear, "Thank you for coming back for me." Then she closed the door and walked into the dark. Mark sat there for a moment. Then his phone buzzed. A message through the app, from the rider. "Where are you?" Mark frowned and typed back, "I just dropped you off." 3 dots appeared. Then the reply came. "That wasn't me. I'm still at the motel." Mark's stomach dropped. He checked the pickup photo. Different woman, different hair, different clothes. The messages kept coming. "I've been waiting outside room 12. You never showed up." Mark didn't respond. He ended the ride. And he never picked up from that motel again. Later, curiosity got the better of him. He searched the address. Old news articles came up, from 1978. A woman had gone missing from that motel. Last seen wearing a long coat, 70s style. Maybe that ghost was just waiting for a ride that never came. Well, not Uber, obviously, since there are no Ubers in the 70s. What I mean is, maybe she's just waiting for help that never came. Okay, we're just about there with the drawing. And yeah, I'm gonna squeeze in one more story. One more messed up tale before we sign this piece. Our next story is based on a real account from an overnight morgue worker. This happened in Brazil. Back in 2018, there was a morgue attendant named Daniel Milan, late 30s, quiet guy. Took night shifts because they paid more and asked fewer questions. Hospitals are different after midnight. Lights dimmed, hallways longer. Sounds carry farther than they should. That night, Daniel was supposed to clock out at 11 p.m., but a call came in just before 10. One more delivery. Unidentified mail, picked up from an apartment downtown. Routine. The body arrived a little after 10:30. Black bag, zipped, tagged. Daniel signed the paperwork, logged the time, checked the ID number. Everything matched. He wheeled the gurney into cold storage and left it near the prep area. He didn't open the bag. No reason to. He went back to finish paperwork. That's when something felt off. From across the room, he could tell. The bag was wrong. Too flat. Bodies have weight. They shift. They settle. This one didn't. It looked empty. Daniel stared at it longer than he should have. He told himself it was the lighting, the angle. His eyes were tired. Still, he knew. He walked closer, stopped a few feet away, didn't touch it. The bag lay there like nothing had ever been inside it. Daniel stepped back and picked up the phone. He called transport, told them there was a mistake. They didn't hesitate. They told him the body was picked up, logged, delivered, and signed for. No mix-up, no missing transfer. They even read him the log number. It was his signature. Daniel hung up and looked back at the gurney. The bag was gone. Not moved. Gone. No wheels rolling. No sound. Just empty space where it had been. That's when his hands started shaking. Morgues don't lose bodies. They don't disappear. Daniel grabbed his jacket, keys, and wallet. He didn't clock out. He left. The drive home felt longer than usual. Every red light felt watched. By the time he got home, the adrenaline wore off. And something else set in. Fear. But not of what he saw. Fear of losing his job. Cameras everywhere. Logs. Paperwork. If someone checked the footage, it would look like he abandoned his shift. So after sitting in his car for almost 20 minutes, Daniel turned around, went back. The morgue was quiet when he returned. Too quiet. Lights still on. He walked slowly toward the prep area. And there it was. The gurney. The bag. Exactly where it had been before. Daniel stood there for a long time. Then he reached out, unzipped it, slowly. Inside was the body. Male, late 40s, cold, eyes open, staring straight at him. Daniel froze. Bodies don't do that. Not like that. The man's lips parted. Just enough, and he spoke. "Don't take me yet." Daniel stumbled backward. His foot caught the wheel of the gurney. He fell. When he looked back, the man's eyes were closed, mouth shut, completely still, dead. Daniel zipped the bag without thinking, logged the body, clocked out. Surprisingly, he wasn't fired or anything, because the man had been pronounced dead early. Too early. The autopsy ruled it a rare condition. Locked-in awareness, minimal signs of life, mistaken for death. Daniel doesn't tell the story for attention. He tells it as a warning, because sometimes they're not gone. And sometimes they know exactly when you're about to take them. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up here. This one's getting scanned, colored, and sent back to Eileen Green. Printed on a shirt, a hat, a mug, do whatever you want with it. It's yours. Until next time, zombies. I'll see you again.